What's up, everyone? I'm Flying Scorpion, and it has been 65 days since I've made an upload. So, what have I been up to? Well, I've been playing EVE Online. Okay, so EVE Online is going to hit its 20-year anniversary soon, and I've been playing EVE Online off and on since about 2008. And the last time I quit was about 5 years ago. Back then, I wasn't sure if I'd ever come back. At that point in time, in 2000 and, well, I don't know, was it 2018, something like that? Someone with a lot more money than me in real life, and just in case you don't understand EVE Online, if someone has a lot of money in real life, there's a good chance they also have a lot of money and power in the game as well. Anyway, this player infiltrated my corporation with one or more spies, and as my hopes and dreams in EVE Online were getting crushed by a more powerful entity, I was facing serious financial hardship in real life, and I had to quit playing. A few people had messaged me over the years asking if I was still active or inviting me to join them online, but I was unable to play, and thinking of EVE just reminded me of the negative feelings I had back when I quit. Anyway, lately, YouTube has been pushing some beautiful EVE Online videos into my recommendations. The game is free to play, so I decided, why the heck not? I'll download it, boot it up, and take a peek. Enjoy the nostalgic music and the beautiful visuals. Now that I'm back, I've come at a really good time. You see, I used to be big into faction warfare. I was a dedicated faction warfare player, and my corporation was all about recruiting and training newbies in faction warfare too. But whenever I was playing the most is when my faction, the Minmatar Republic, was losing the worst. And as a result, I was almost always space poor. And by space poor, that basically means I was just poor in EVE Online. Anyway, back then, the amount of money you made in faction warfare was balanced in a really stupid way. If you were winning by a lot, then you got paid the most. And if you were losing by a lot, you got paid the least. So just take a moment and imagine if you were playing a racing game like Mario Kart, and the player in first place got the most boosts, and the player in last place got hit with the worst defects. All that does is it just makes the gap wider and wider between whoever's winning and whoever's losing. And so in EVE Online, back then during faction warfare, people would just switch sides. That was it. If your team was losing and the other team was winning, everyone would just migrate over to the other side, to the winning team, make a whole bunch of money, and then when they would flood the market and all the stuff that they could sell from that faction wasn't worth anything anymore, they'd all just switch sides and everyone would win on the other side. Anyway, thankfully, CCP, the developers of EVE Online, have finally updated faction warfare. I can't believe it took them this long, but they finally did it. Long story short, they fixed a lot of issues in faction warfare, and it's much more worth trying out now. It's a great place for new players to get in and fight in relatively fair 1v1 or small gang fights, and to make enough money in the process to continue buying new ships and losing those ships in combat. Now, I know there's no such thing as like a perfectly fair or even fight. I just want to point that out, but this is about as close as you can get that I'm aware of, aside from an arranged duel with another player. Anyway, I'm not really sure how long I'll be sticking to EVE Online this year. I've paid for 2 months of Omega. Omega is like the subscription, the premium subscription. It's like a freemium game, so it's free to play with premium subscription. Omega gives you access to more ships and perks in the game. However, EVE is kind of like Warframe. You know how in Warframe players can trade premium currency? Like, for example, someone with a full-time job and not a lot of free time can log in on the weekend, buy a bunch of premium currency, and then trade that currency with an unemployed no-lifer who has lots of free time to grind in the game. Yeah, EVE Online is like that too. And it's a win-win situation. Players who have no real-life dollars or very little money can grind away in the game and can make trades with players who do have money, and as a result, both the free-to-play and the paying players gain access to everything that the game has on the market. So for example, ship skins, or to change the cosmetics of your character, all that stuff. Yeah, it's a really good system. I wish more games actually did this in their game design. Regardless, with how easy it is to make money in faction warfare right now, I can honestly see myself paying for a subscription for both my girlfriend's account and my own just by playing the game. I'm not sure if I'll actually go ahead and do that, but I just want to let you know that doing stuff like that is possible in EVE Online. You could start as a completely brand new free-to-play player, and through leveling up and playing the game, make enough money in the game to buy Omega subscription, and then just, become an Omega player just like that. So anyway, if you're interested in playing EVE and you want to boost, I'll put a referral link in the description of this video. If you use that link, you'll get 1,000,000 skill points, and it will give bonuses. I'll get bonuses for recruiting you. If you want to go one step further and join me in faction warfare, feel free to look me up in the game. My name in the game is Boozbaz. Lately, I've started branching out away from combat in the game and getting into logistics. Logistics means skilling up into industry, trading, and hauling. The whole reason I'm doing this is because it opens up a lot of convenience for me and my allies. I can use my trading skills to bulk order a lot of components and materials, and then use my hauling skills to move all that stuff onto the front lines in the war zone. And finally, use my industry skills to build and assemble combat-ready ships. Here's some advice if you want to get into faction warfare in EVE Online. Make sure you have a lot of replacement ships ready for combat inside the war zone. Because in EVE Online, when you die, you don't respawn with all your gear and equipment. It's kind of like PvP in Rust or Minecraft. You need to have stashes of gear and re-equip your naked body before you go back into the fight. PvP in EVE is unlike PvP in a lot of other games like Destiny 2 or Call of Duty. This is a game where your hands can start shaking and getting sweaty, your heart is beating really fast. I'm sure someone else out there has done a full breakdown of why PvP in EVE is so intense, but I think it's because the cost, like a couple of factors, is that the cost of your ship can be in the hundreds, maybe even thousands of US dollars, and PvP in EVE has long periods of dead silence with no action, and then suddenly these spikes of action where you need to think fast and react quickly to a lot of shit happening all at once. Okay, one more thing and I'll end this script. If that sweaty hands, heart-pounding experience sounds like too much for you and you want to play EVE in like a super chill way, you can do that. You can literally set your ship up to do something like mining or even combat and just get up and go to do the dishes or sit on the toilet or something, all while your ship is making money and blowing up rocks or ships in the background. If you want to like smoke a blunt and just chill out and watch the fireworks, EVE is totally able to deliver on that front. However, if you're looking for first-person shooter kind of action, where you're like in direct control of your ship with like a joystick or whatever, and you're pulling the trigger to shoot your gun and stuff like that, you might be better off checking out something like Star Citizen or No Man's Sky. Anyway, that's it for today's video, or this month's video. Yeah, I know, it's been a really long time since I've uploaded something here on this channel. My personal life has seen a huge change recently. I moved 15 time zones away to the other side of the planet, so that's had an effect on my production on YouTube videos. Anyway, hope you're having fun with whatever it is that you're playing, and thanks for stopping by. Bye!